It's finally here, the At Your Leisure Cruise. And while you may have missed the most amazing trip to Alaska, we're bringing it home for you today on AYL. I'm Chad Booth. Join me and a few hundred of our friends and viewers as we hit all the stops, experience all the adventure, and eat all the amazing food you can imagine. Don't worry, I'm still on the caveman diet, though. Then we'll find out how to Yankee Doodle Dangle and how these special needs kids conquered rodeo. AYL in Alaska is next.
The town's called Prince Rupert, so please have your passports ready with one finger on the page with your picture and the other one on the page with your visa. We're going to Canada. Hi everybody, welcome to At Your Leisure. I'm Chad Booth, and we are on the Norwegian Star along with, a couple of hundred of our fans and friends that made the trip for our At Your Leisure Alaska cruise. We've had a lot of fun this week, and we are going to highlight it in the next half hour. Now, we're about to set foot in our last port of call before we go home to Seattle and fly back to Salt Lake. It's called Prince Rupert. But, you know, this whole week we have been from the treetops to the mountaintops, out into the Yukon Territory, down along the coastal areas, watching for whales. We've just done so much. We're going to share that with you during this half hour and meet some of the people that have joined us on the cruise. We're going to get to all that, and at the end of the show, we'll tell you about our trip next year for At Your Leisure. So stay tuned. And right now it's time for us to go off to our travel adventure for this week. It's a point of destination that's really different than where we've been, but I think you're going to like it. If you'd like more information on this week's travel adventure, just go to our website, AYLTV.com. If you have a comment you'd like to make about it, we'd always love to hear from you. And the best place to tell the world your thoughts about our show is on our Facebook page, and that is At Your Leisure-AYL on Facebook. You can find it there, and tell us what you think about what you've seen. Now, a lot of people have asked us on this cruise, what's going to happen? Or, you know, have you guys been in port all the time? Have you just been like running like crazy, swinging from the treetops, out chasing whales? No. I mean, we've had plenty of that, but there's time to have fun on the ship too. I mean, after all, if you're going to cruise, you should cruise. The central party part of the ship is the pool area. They've got 4 hot tubs, slides and splash pools. They've got a swimming pool in the middle. It's all heated, and on the days when the sun's shining and it's shirt sleeve weather, there are no shortage of people in these hot tubs. And they have a barbecue that goes on all the time. They've got a bar, all kinds of fun things you can do while you're cruising. Let's take a look around and find out what some of the activities on the ship are.
5, 6, 7, 8, and roll, click, click, 2 heels to the front, 2 toes to the back, front to the back, to the side, now turn, 3 steps to the back, woo, 3 steps to the front, great line to the right, great line to the left, John, the other way, click, click, 2 heels to the front, 2 toes to the back, front to the back, to the side, now turn, 3 steps to the back, woo, 3 steps to the front, straight line to the right, great line to the left, John, roll.
Welcome back to At Your Leisure. We are cruising on the Norwegian Star on the Alaska cruise along with 260 of our favorite At Your Leisure fans. They're all over the ship, but then again, so are these guys in these red shirts with the white stripes, and they will always be more than willing to pop right in there and hand you something exotic and tropical like this fruit smoothie, or if you want, just soda, any kind of drink you'd like. They're always there. I mean, service is absolutely great. We're going to be heading into port here in just a couple of minutes. We're going to show you some of the things we have done on this trip. But right now, it's time for us to go to this week's product review. Enjoy. Welcome back to At Your Leisure. We are in the heart of the Norwegian Star, and the heart of what makes everything so much fun on this ship is direct from South London, Paul Scully, the cruise director. Now, cruise directors have changed a lot since the days of Lauren or whatever her name was on the Love Boat, right?
Yeah, a little bit as the ships have got newer, and especially with our product, the freestyle cruising, it is a very different job to, I think, what it was, let's say, 15, 20 years ago, yeah.
All right, so if somebody is just suffers from like 15 minutes of boredom on board this cruise ship, How long does it take you to fill the gap?
I'll find them straight away, a couple of minutes. We have 3 main production shows. It's packed. So if you don't like that, or let's say you don't like it, but you're not as interested in that as you could be something else, I'll find you something.
All right, listen, Paul, you've got this great British accent. I know that all the women watching At Your Leisure, and there are thousands of them, are just they're melting over your accent. So the story that we're tossing to is called Our Trailhead Adventure. So would you like to announce it for us?
Yeah, of course I would. I want to do it. Coming up next, direct from Norwegian Star, Trailhead Adventure.
If you'd like to find out more about this week's Trailhead Adventure, just go to the At Your Leisure website, ayltv.com, or you can go to our Facebook page, At Your Leisure-AYL. Now, we've shown you some of the activities we've done on our Alaska cruise, and we've talked about some of the fun we've had on board with the cruise director here on the Norwegian Star. What we haven't talked about yet is how our fans, the people who actually signed up to go with us, felt about traveling the At Your Leisure way. So let's find out, in their own words, what they think.
Actually, this is my 3rd cruise, and I think it was the best one.
This is my very first cruise, and I have had a wonderful time. I think my favorite part was the whale watching in Juneau. We saw the humpback whales, the orcas. There were seals out on the little lighthouse thing. We had dolphins chasing the boat. It was spectacular.
We saw bears, so that was a highlight.
So what? 3, 4
4 bears.
grizzlies.
Got to see some bald eagles too. 25 of them in a tree. That was just great.
The off-the-boat excursions were the highlight of my trip. Spectacular things to do up here. Just get off the boat and have fun.
The zip line was great. Even though I screamed and had a hard time, it was fun. I loved it. It was fun.
Oh man, just being away from work, to be honest with you, and the zip line, it was nice just to kick my feet up, have a good time.
How about you?
I liked the float plane we did in Prince Rupert. It was good.
Skagway, went up on the White Horse Pass. That was really magnificent. The scenery, all the things we got to see. We've seen some caribou, we've seen eagles, we've seen some seals, a lot of small shorebirds, some terns. So it's been pretty great. I mean, the scenery is fantastic up here.
Skagway with the train. That was beautiful.
Oh, every minute it's been a highlight. Every time we sit down to eat, you have the most spectacular scenery you're watching go by. The greatest restaurant in the world.
We enjoyed At Your Leisure and Columbus helping us. We recommend it to everybody. It was super neat.
So, aren't you kind of sorry you missed the trip now? Well, don't feel too bad, because you can go along with us on our next At Your Leisure adventure, and we're going to tell you when and where we're going to go in just a minute. We'll be right back.
Well, thanks for joining us this week on At Your Leisure to recap our Alaska cruise. And on behalf of all the fans that went with us to Alaska, make sure that you get out and enjoy the great outdoors with your family and friends. You ready? At your leisure. We'll see you next week.